Hi, this is a quick video to show you how the motor bracket assembly attaches onto the Trampa trucks. It will fit both Vertigo Trampa trucks and the Infinity models, and it may fit the MBS trucks as well. But you possibly on the MBS trucks you'd have to remove the little brake, or you'd have to grind a little bit of it off the brake little nodule that's on their trucks. I'll show you the motor bracket assembly off the board, and it's here. So if you actually order a motor bracket, this is what you'd received: the clamp, which is this part, the round part, and the actual motor bracket here. So the first thing you would do is to assemble the axle clamp, which is this part, and you fit it onto the motor bracket, and it attaches on with 3 bolts that go through there, and they'll be supplied to you in the kit. So it's pretty simple stuff. They're the first ones you attach. So it's 1, 2, 3, and you make sure you have the motor bracket with the countersunk holes on this side, because you'll need them when you attach your motor on, because that's attached with four countersunk bolts that have little Allen keys on it. And this, just for your reference, this gear, the motor gear, it's 1 grub screw, 2 grub screws, and there's actually another grub screw under each grub screw, so there's 4 in total you have to remove off here. Okay. So once you attach your motor bracket to the axle clamp, you'll get these 2 parts in the motor bracket kit. You can then slide it onto the truck. That easy, just slide it on, and then the first bolts you would do up are, well, position your motor bracket where you want it. You can move it up and down. Just depends what angle you want the motors to sit at off the floor. Generally you'd have it in that sort of position. So the first 2 bolts you do up are these 2. You've got 1 there and 1 here, and then position the bracket where you want it, and then tighten them up, and that will clamp it onto the truck shaft. And then the next, well, these are grub screws you do up. There's 1 there, 1, 2, there's another around here, 3. And what happens is once you wind them down, that totally locks the bracket in place, and there's no way that can move anywhere once that's done. So it's completely fixed the motor in that position. Just a quick point that I didn't mention on the motor brackets: these are actually on slotted holes, so you can actually move the motor bracket up and down, and that obviously depends on sort of tightness of the belt. We generally recommend that sort of gap, if you can see that. The belt shouldn't be too tight. You should be able to press the belt, and there's still a little bit of slack in it. It'll probably be able to move down about 8mm with your thumb. And the wheel, when you attach the wheel back on, will be free to spin with your hand. Don't have that too tight, the belt. It's not necessary. The belt won't slip. And all you'll do is create pressure on your motor and drag, basically. And you'll wear your battery out quicker. Also, when you attach your wheel back on, make sure you don't do up the nut too tight. There's no need for it. It's a locking nut anyway. And also, the gear that attaches to the wheel, very simple again. When you get with a Hypa hub, you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts. You take out the original bolts. First of all, you have to let the air out of the tyre. The original bolts are quite short, but if you buy the gear, you'll be provided with 1, 2, 3, the 6 bolts, which are longer. And all you do, you take the original ones out, put the new bolts in, and simply bolt the gear to your wheel. It takes 2 minutes to do, and that's it. You've got a driven rear wheel ready to fit on.